Hi, great that you're here. Thank you so much for joining today. And sometimes I really have to think what I'm doing here. It's like, wow, I don't know where I was, but it has been a while. Wow, it's amazing. Like I don't know how it is for you, but say coming daily to this circle, to the silent healing circle, to tabernacling together at 4 p.m. Central Time. It's really like going really deep into my consciousness and seeing that it's like I'm discombobbled. Like it has a great effect on. I'm getting out of here. I'm like it's that feeling kind of getting out of here, and yeah, I don't know exactly how to do this, how to even do this meeting or something like this. It's like it has to be given to me, and that is what is happening. Otherwise, it would mean nothing altogether. So the great thing is that actually things are happening because of this stillness, and because of taking time to really sink deeply into yourself, and actually feeling that in a communion, starting to open up into your consciousness, like wow, like that. And that's an incredible occurrence all the time. It's like I'm so grateful for that's occurring. And I invite you to do the same, because it's like that's where the real practice is, really, truly. Whether you do that organized or not, that doesn't matter. So you do this, otherwise you would not listen to this or see this or watch this. So I'm happy for your participation in this whole story. That's so great. And so you see that the going within is in fact like what happens outside. Immediately shifts in terms of importance. Like you think you cannot take time to sink deeply into your stillness, that you are too busy to do that. Then when you choose to do that, you actually want to stay in it and forget about the world altogether. So that's amazing. So this is what I love, and especially when we come together again then during the day, or have a morning meditation, like Pierre is facilitating all the time. It's like 6 a.m. Okay, here we go. This is our meditation. It's like all these intensification of going inward is helping you totally to in fact have a rearrangement taking place, not by your sorting out, but it rearranges your whole being, in fact, of your whole being present. Now, there's a couple of things that I love to share before we start the meditation, and one is this, and this is so crucial, that's why I have to share it. Like, it's so important to remember that you can ask for help. That's one thing. You can ask for help. You don't have to do this by yourself. You can ask for help. Now, you have heard that being said many times. You can ask for help, so do it. Ask for help. Like, how do you do that? Well, you ask for help. You say help. Just 4-letter words. It's like help. In many languages, the same word. Like in Dutch, it's help too. In English, it's in French. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think so. But it comes down to the same idea. But then, it's like, what am I asking help from? Where do I want help from? And what for? So those are two questions. So one of them is, where does the help come from? Do I care where the help comes from? No, I don't. Help is help. If it really helps me, then it's welcome, right? Easy as that. Now, whatever form that appears, if it appears in the form at all. So now the other thing then is this. It's like, what do I exactly ask help for? See, here is something really essential. And this came to me when I actually took a look at it. And that's this. Like, in fact, you ask for help not to learn to better deal with your world, not to learn to better deal with the conflict that you're in, not to do all these things. Like, you're not doing it for that. You're not doing it to get a better human life. You don't do that. Like, there's a lot of reasons why you actually don't ask for help, even though you might be tempted to think you do. So what do you ask help for? This is a really important question. What is it? What is the reason I ask for help? What exactly do I want the help for? In fact, you could say the release of self-identity, the release of my holding on to my self-identity in limited form. That's what I'm actually asking for the help to release my self-identity, or my holding on to, my identifying with that part that I'm not. So that is quite something. Now look at it for yourself. It's like maybe you recently have asked for help, and so what do you expect to help us for? This is crucial. Like I said, it's like, well, think of it for a moment. What did you ask for help for? What did you want the help to do for you? And then basically, naturally, as a human being, you use everything to make your dream work, to make your limitation work a little bit more comfortable, right? This is can be one of the reasons you ask for help, or you could say prayer. But that is in fact not what we ask help for, what could give you the help. No, the help will be given in a level of consciousness that has in fact nothing to do with the place where you perceive the problem. Now this is good to remember. It's like we know this from prayer. It's like the problem is not solved on the level where it is perceived. So we're talking now already about problem solving, because that's in fact where you walk up against on a daily basis. You have a problem. Now your mind is engaged in trying to solve it, and suddenly you remember, wait a minute, I can ask for help. Now asking for help is not to bring it back into your dream and try to make it work better, right? It is the temptation, and we're not going to do that any longer, right? So this is so good to know. So you ask for help, for the relinquishment, for the undoing of what you think you could possibly have as a problem. If you remember the ideas, like the words of Bible, I and my Father are one. Like, if I'm one with my Father, He created me perfectly. There's nothing wrong with that, what He created. I don't recognize myself that to be when I think something is wrong. So I want, in fact, the remembrance of my wholeness again. This is what I ask for help for. How can that help come to me? By the relinquishment of my self-identity, by giving up all ideas about what I think I am and how I think I need to be in this place of limitation that I created myself, like my self-imposed prison, my self-made prison. Now we come closer to the idea of freedom, like my freedom. That's the theme of the Rebirth session today, is like my freedom. So what happens here? My freedom is in fact a recognition that I'm not bound by the laws I made up for myself and the beliefs that I made up for myself, and the in fact the world that I created. I'm not bound by the world that I imagined to be there and still imagining to be there, and what I think that all the limitations are coming from outside of me. Like all of that. Now we go back to going back within. It's like, no. It has nothing to do with that. That my imprisonment is self-imposed. I did this to myself. Now, the relinquishment of what I think I am is a necessity to experience my freedom. Absolutely essential. So yeah, here we are. So I thought it was great to share this, because the asking for help is a very good idea. But what are you asking for is in fact also essential. Then you also feel immediately something like, well, the relinquishment of my self-identity. That sounds a bit drastic. I just need help with this, with this little thing that I'm seeing, and then my dream will be smooth again. If that would resolve, then I would be happy again. Like, no, this is not what we're talking about. This is not going to be the solution for you, in other words. Like, no, in fact, there is no solution for the place you find yourself if you experience limitation. So try not to occupy your mind and your time with trying to find a solution to your problems. No, the whole, say, idea of yourself dissolves when you recognize it is not what you are. So the release of your identity, like your identification, is the first premise to come into a different experience of yourself, where you can experience your freedom. And it's your birthright. So why ask for less? So we know these things, but see, to come into the practicality, I had like, well, we have to first look at what is asking for help, because we didn't really take a look at that yet. Now the asking for help is not to make your dream work, not to make your human existence better, not to have any kind of shift in occurrences that you need in order to lead a comfortable life. Now I'm not taking away the comfort that you're looking for. I'm not taking anything away from you. It is just that you cannot experience it in a construct of limitation. That is what is impossible. So that's why, in fact, what I'm offering you is the only thing that can help you out of this. Being consciously aware of the fact that if you ask for help, you ask for the relinquishment of all that you think you are, in order to experience a new freedom that is yours already. So you're going to be successful in that, and you were successful in that, but then, consciously. All right, so now we're heading over to the meditation to see, like, oh yeah, wait a minute, that's what this is about. So before we do that, I'd like to take a look at what is actually expressed here in the meditation. All right, so he's asking for help. Freedom now. Freedom now was the title of the meditation, and there's a French translation with it too. Look not to time, but to the little space between you still, to be delivered from. The little space between you. And do not let it be disguised as time, and so preserved because its form is changed. And what it is cannot be recognized. The Holy Spirit's purpose now is yours. Should not his happiness be yours as well? Okay, so this is really lovely. It's from chapter 26. Look not to time, but to the little space between you still, to be delivered from. It's like it's a space problem that you experience, thinking that there's a space between you and something else, and for instance the Holy Spirit. You don't recognize it fully to be within you. So it is not a matter of time. No, it's a matter of allowing this to fall into place for you. Delay is senseless, and the reason that would maintain effects of present cause must be delayed until a future time is merely a denial of the fact that consequence and cause must come as one. Well, that's a difficult sentence. I'm going to do this one first. Be not content with future happiness. So this is in fact what we should listen to first. Like, be not content with future happiness. It has no meaning. A better future? No, forget about it. Like a future happiness? No, that's not what we're looking for. It has no meaning, and it is not your just reward. For you have cause for freedom now. What profits freedom in a prisoner's form? Why should deliverance be disguised as death? Like, why would you be happy with a future release, you could say, a future release in forms like death? Like, what? So you are kept here in this imprisoned form you call your human identity. Like, why would you want to stay there? Why not be free now? Delay is senseless, and the reason that would maintain effects of present cause must be delayed until a future time is merely a denial of the fact that consequence and cause must come as one. Yeah, so delay is senseless, and the reason that would maintain effects of present cause must be delayed. It's like, apparently you see a goal in delaying this, but that is not true. So I look not to time, but to the little space between you still to be delivered from. And do not let it be disguised as time, as if it is going to take time for this to occur to you, to actually become free now, because you are free now. It is a matter of the relinquishment of self-identity, the undoing of what never was, and the undoing of the ideas that you held on to for a moment. Now allow that to be undone. That's in fact the message here. So we're going to undergo this meditation. So I made a video with Michelle. So she speaks in French, and be not content with future happiness. It has no meaning and is not your just reward. For you have cause for freedom now. What profits freedom in a prisoner's form? Why should deliverance be disguised as death? Delay is senseless, and the reason that would maintain effects of present cause must be delayed until a future time is merely a denial of the fact that has consequence and cause must come as one. Look not to time, but to the little space between you still to be delivered from, and do not let it be disguised as time, and so preserved because its form is changed, and what it is cannot be recognized. The Holy Spirit's purpose now is yours. Should not His happiness be yours as well?
Liberté maintenant. Ne vous contentez pas du bonheur futur. Cela n'a aucune signification et n'a pas votre juste récompense, car vous avez une cause de liberté maintenant. À quoi sert la liberté sous la forme d'un prisonnier? Pourquoi la délivrance devrait-elle être déguisée en mort? Retarder n'a aucun sens. Et la raison qui voudrait que les effets de la cause présente soient retardés jusqu'à un moment futur n'est qu'un déni du fait que la conséquence et la cause doivent ne faire qu'un. Ne retardez pas le temps, mais le petit espace qui vous sépare encore pour être délivré. Et ne pas le laisser, pas être déguisé en temps. Et ainsi préserver, parce que sa forme est modifiée et que ce qu'il est ne peut être reconnu. Le but du Saint-Esprit, maintenant, est le vôtre. Son bonheur ne devrait-il pas également être le vôtre?
So, thank you. Thank you so much for participating in the meditation, to be still for a moment. And so I want to show one more thing that I had available, and that has to do with the asking for help. So we went through this, asking for help. So here's like a summary of what I shared, but since it's essential, I wanted to share it here too. So asking for help, remember that with asking for help, you are asking for help to release your self-identity. You don't ask for help to make your human existence work in whatever form that seems to be necessary, or to better be able to cope with your perceived problems and still make the dream, say, more comfortable, or make the dream work. So here I wanted to share this, so it will be in the video too, so you can read it again. So it's more like this is it can save you so much time to know this. That's why I'm sharing it. I see that it's like you come to the clarity of mind where you actually see what you're doing. Now, with Christ vision, looking at this, it is essential that this happens. So then the asking for help is more like you already release everything in order to experience something else. Like it becomes the automatic response to any situation where you think something is needed or something is not right, or with all of this. Why am I saying this? Well, it's more like coming into a recognition of what's going on in your awareness. You see that any distraction that takes you away from your present happiness or your present freedom is what time is what a little shift in you perceive a little bit of space, you could say. It was used in the text too. It's like you perceive a little bit of space between you and your reality. Well, that is all the separation that there can possibly be. You have to see it like that. So that's why this alignment is so great. So when you stay present, you could say it would be the easiest to stay right here, because then you don't have to undergo this whole shift and change occurrence. But since we're in the process of coming to this say reunion with ourselves, in fact, you come back to your center. By times, like you have your meditation time in which that can occur. You come to the meeting and that it can occur. You watch some video, or you read some book, that can occur by that, like by reading that and allowing this shift to occur. Well, the shift that you need to let occur, you could say, is always a release of self-identity. So the idea of healing is release, is very important. Like otherwise you're still projecting it into your dream, and you're projecting it into time. So you in fact are perpetuating your suffering, and that's why this is so great to recognize this. So these are so subtle things that you might not be aware of until you are. That you're actually wanting a better dream, that you want to get rid of something in your dream so that you can live on more comfortably. Like it's such a common mistake, you could say. It's just a mistake. It's like, no, the release of self-identity is where your true freedom lies. Well, why not experiencing that right now? There's nothing stopping you from doing so. In fact. So that was a great one. I'm so happy that came to me. So thank you so much for listening to that. So now to take time in this meeting for some more sharing and discovering, we continue with the non-public part, as we call it. And it might become a little bit public, who knows, whenever we're ready for that. But that is not happening now, so don't worry about it.